Both clocks are slow.
Okay, between the three clocks. Great. Okay, welcome to everybody. Call to order the Tokerville City Council regular business meeting here at the council chambers on February 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Present, we have Councilmember Campbell, Councilmember Owens, Councilmember Chamberlain, Councilmember Pressler, and Councilmember Todd Sands, and our city attorney, I can't remember.
Bruce Jenkins.
Bruce Jenkins. All right. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Will be done by Councilmember Chamberlain, and we'll have a statement of belief and opening prayer by Councilmember Pressler.
All rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we are so very grateful to be able to meet tonight and discuss city business. We pray for thy guiding hand to be with us and help us to make good decisions for the citizens of Tokerville. We're so grateful for this beautiful city that we live in, and pray for good things for the city and its occupants. We're grateful for all of thy blessings in our lives, and at this time we pray for more rain so that we have enough water for this summer. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, looking for approval of the agenda order. Do we have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda order.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, disclosures and declaration of conflicts from the council members and mayor.
Have none?
None.
None.
None?
No.
Okay. Review and possible approval of the meeting minutes from January 21, 2026, city council meeting. Everybody have time to review the minutes?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 21, 2026 city council meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Review and possible approval of city expenditures from December 2025. Is anybody going to speak to this, or are we just going to go through the review?
Wayne, you have any more comments on that?
No, I satisfied myself.
You did? Very good.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll approve the-
I do have a question. I was wondering what the payment to Sapp Brothers was for.
Bond.
Bond.
Release of bond.
release?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
I reviewed it last month, so that's fine.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the city expenditures from December of 2025.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call. Start with Councilmember
Campbell?
Campbell.
Aye.
Chamberlain, aye.
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 Okay, motion passes unanimously. City Department reports. Mr. Chandler from Ash Creek.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, Council. Just a quick report on our ribbon cutting this past week. Appreciate those of you who were able to make it out. Hopefully it was satisfying for your curiosity, interesting. And we look forward to the next couple of weeks finishing up our clean water testing. We'll start cutting in and actually treating wastewater in the coming weeks. So that's underway. We've worked with city staff through JUC and others as far as plans and continuing construction on the bypass, well, not the bypass, the Firelight trunk line that will be connecting in at Westfield Road on the south end, as well as some of those plans for Silver Cliffs that are connecting through Tokerville or through Firelight from the lead side as well. I think other than that, as far as projects, we did update our master plan. I think last month Matt Goodrich probably gave a little bit of an update there. that included both revision and update to our impact fees, as well as some new capital projects we'll be working on in the coming year. One of those will be to put a new trunk line across the bridge at Laverkin Creek. That is one of the bottlenecks that we have on the system, a major constraint that we have as far as continuing to convey all of the wastewater from Tokerville across the creek and getting it down to the treatment plant. So a couple of projects that we have coming up over the course of this year in Tokerville. We continue to see growth on that north end and are monitoring flows throughout the system. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, or if not, that's all I have.
Well, Mike, and I've asked you before if we could get a presentation at some time, kind of showing how we got to where we are on the systems now, where the
Correct.
treatment's going to go, and how it gets dispersed from there.
Yes.
So it would be great, I think. So for those that couldn't be there, and
And if there's a preference, whether in the cycle of your meetings, if it's the first or the third, let me know if you have a preference. But if not, I will plan on bringing it next month
okay,
to the first meeting of the month, if that's okay.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll plan on that then.
great. Thanks, Mike.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, Hurricane Fire is not going to be here tonight. Assistant City Manager Darren Lefevre.
Okay, so I have Emily pull up a picture for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the construction projects and where we are standing with those throughout Tokerville City. Right now, this is Boulder Ridge at their very north side of their phases 1 and 2. So you can see the piece of equipment that's in that roundabout right almost in the center of the screen. That is on both sides. There's 2 5-acre lots right there, one on both sides of that road. The Maverick has proposed and has preliminary site approval for theirs, which is just across the road there as you come up. And that's kind of where Emily's dragging the cursor back and forth on that. There is one other lot that includes the detention pond as a regional detention pond for the area. It's a pretty big area there to the very top of their project. Yep, right there. They are moving along. They keep asking, they want to pave, but they just quite aren't there yet. They've got some other obstacles that they need to get in. As you can see, the curb and gutter is not finished. The sidewalk's not quite there. And most of the Joint Utility Committee's members have not signed off on the pre-paved letters yet. What that does for everybody is that this lets us know that, hey, are all of the compaction tests, are your conduits put in so that we don't have to go back and tear it out or cut the asphalt? And so they're working diligently to get that done on that project. The next picture is just, you can kind of see some of the rock that they've pulled off. They are crushing some of that on site and using it as road base for their project only. And as per our grading permit allows them to do that. So as long as they don't, kind of crush it and take it off site. So, and in the distance there, you can see the basalt borrow site for the dam that they're building, which we'll see a picture of here in just a minute. And then in the field there, just below that is the what they call their farm site, which they're getting most of their just decent soil that they're using for the bottom of the pond above the clay liners. Let's go to the next photo.
Did they get all their water lines cut in so they don't have to shut water off again?
Oh, they're what?
The
Oh,
water.
yes,
Okay.
they did. They're now fully, they've cut that road, actually that road right there, that dirt road, you're seeing that new dirt road. It was actually an old dirt road, but it'll be part of their, this phase portion of it. Anyway, they had to cut in the laterals and things into the existing 12-inch, I think it's 12-inch water line. Is that correct, JD? Yeah. That goes down that road. And they did that over the course of a few nights and one day. And so they are finished with that at this point. So it's a nice to be at that point. The next slide, I believe, shows the flying over, and this is kind of at the request of Councilman Olson, is I flew the drone over the top of the new reservoir. So this is like a leg of that you can see off in the distance is the dam. Let's go to the next photo. Just kind of wanted to flip back around so you can kind of see the Settlers Junction RV park and the where the water is going to be coming in from on the right hand of the photo. Next one. So this just is flying over there by the kind of where everybody's coming in, the access road where the water will be coming in. Gives you a little bit of the idea of the magnitude. Most of that dirt right there has a liner under it right now. And the next photo is kind of their operations, a couple of their operations to the right. Let's go one more, I think I got. Yeah, right there. You can see they're separating the sand. There's a lot of sand there from there's some rock and a few things that they're using in the dam at that point. But you can see the black splotches, and that on the very top distance is what they call the coffer dam. At the high water levels, water should be that high. Next photo. So as we come in and flying in towards the dam, so you can see the water that's there on the left side of the dam now. And all of that black rock there is the basalt that they're pulling mostly from the top up there. And that what I was talked about a second ago when we were looking over the Boulder Ridge project. You can see the keyway there. They dug that out and put cement in that over a year ago. And they're slowly filling that up. But you can see the base of the dam on both sides is the black rock. If you go to the next photo, you can see that a little bit better. So they're slowly building that up to where that keyway ends at the top. They're going to be stopping. That's where pretty much the top of the dam is. And so you can kind of see that at the bottom there. I don't know exactly what that distance is, but it's a couple 100 feet. And so they're moving along fairly good and on schedule. They did get delayed because of that rainstorms we had in I think it was late December, early January. They got a bunch of water in against that, and so they had to deal with that. But they're back on schedule. They should be done January. What they're still shooting for is January 2027 to have the dam complete and the bottom of the pond. So that's kind of their next deal. Let's go to the next one. This just here again gives you, didn't get it what I needed. Anyway, there's another kind of like a spillway, a concrete spillway. Didn't get it. I thought I did. But you can see basically everything that's in the bottom there, that will be water when they start filling that up. Let's go to the next one. Oh, there it is. So you see that on the kind of middle left, there's a little, looks like a concrete wedge type of deal. That is the overflow, which it would, if it gets to that point, it would go down and get into Ash Creek the way it has always done in that natural drainage. Because the dam is built on it's basically a drainage. So the next photo, I believe, is just one last photo. It's kind of overlooking, or maybe there isn't one. That's it. So in essence, if you want to see more photos, I got a few more, but if you come into my office and take a look at them. The other thing the mayor asked me to kind of comment on was our traffic control plan that we're working on with Sunrise. We started working on that. We got the grant quite some time ago, and we're working with Sunrise Engineering to complete that. Once we were waiting for the parkway to be finished so that they could get accurate counts. And the master transportation plan, it just basically shows roads, future collectors for the most part. And not to say that that's exactly where those are going to go, but this is just that we are planning in certain areas throughout that. And there's a comment period of time there when we get that back and finished there. So they are doing traffic. They did traffic counts just recently since we've opened the parkway, and they're compiling that data right now. And there is one little, they found that they think there's a little bit of money that they can do a little bit of our active transportation, which is trails and a few things like that, but there'll be very high level map on that. It's not the money, and the focus that we got for the grant is to go towards our roads, not necessarily the trails, but they said we could, in conjunction with what you've got, some master planned trails, we'll just put that over onto a map as well and create a separate map. So that's working. I think So I've got a meeting next week with the engineers to review some of that documentation. I've got to get a few red lines back to them on their plans. And then I would think couple weeks after that, but I'm thinking probably within 2 months, we'll have that in front of you guys.
You kind of cover what, the north intersection, the plans on that for guardrail and.
Oh, so right now, I haven't seen that estimate yet back from JP yet, but that will be coming to you as a change order. And at that point, you guys can decide whether or not we want to do that. There's a couple of change orders that will be coming down, and Stanley will be presenting, I think if not one, maybe two of those. One of them was an extension of those storm drain pipes at Firelight Drive and fixing some of the roadway. So there's about 3 more change orders, which 2 or 3 of them will depend on your guys' approval.
I have a question. It would be really nice to have a sign that shows left to Tokerville, because we've had family come down and totally miss that road, because that's something that is in the works too.
As of right now, no.
Pointing out the one, if the one up at the top, as you're coming in on the bypass, typically the signs are on the right side of the road.
Yeah.
When you're traveling, to point you to turn down
Yeah,
the boulevard.
right.
Because I think we've all had family that's missed the turn,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and they know what they're looking for. So that's,
We actually intentionally removed that from the signage from the plan because the parkway is also considered Tokerville. So we found it a bit confusing
Oh,
to indicate a left to Tokerville when straight ahead to Tokerville is also
Yeah.
we've got the one sign that says Toker Boulevard, though, on the other side of the road, correct?
street sign.
And that's what I'm talking about. If they put a street sign on the right side where it showed the intersection,
Yep.
where you saw it a little bit better. That'd give me a wrench.
I mean, yes, in time, Tokerville will be built out there, but right now it's not. So, yeah, I see your point, but
Yeah.
it still is, it's like nobody knows what that road is.
We could
You
put
know,
Old
now.
Town,
Yeah, Old Town, yeah.
Well, and I think part of that too is
like
that
San Diego.
at night especially, it's tough to see that road.
Yeah.
Period.
it is.
Sorry.
So anything that we could draw to where that intersection is to give people a heads up, I think could help. So, and then the south end, as I was discussing with Darren, as traffic picks up during tourist season on the bypass, it'd be interesting to see if we could look at another count just to see.
Yeah, so we're gonna, I'll reach out to UDOT in June-ish or thereabouts. I'll actually get before that and just ask them what their schedule and how they do those counts. I don't know their rotation. I think it might be just once a quarter or once a year. I don't know.
Well, it's a lot easier to get out on the boulevard now. Now you just have
Yeah.
to wait when you get down to the other
Yeah.
end. So we've just moved the spot.
Move to the way.
So
Well, the intent was to put the traffic out there and not try to attract them to come in.
And
So if you put some signs like Old Town or something like that, you're just inviting, you're feeding the purpose that the bypass is for.
Well, maybe if we just at least have a light or something there, because at night it's really hard to see.
Oh, the
that
light's
road.
horrible.
yeah, so we have talked about, they're gonna do some restriping and we're gonna do some elephant tracks, what Mayor suggested we do, which basically helps people at night to realize where that turn lane is so that you follow and get right into the correct lane.
Yeah,
Every morning I go there and try to turn right and I end up in the turning lane because I can't. It's dark. That's
Yeah.
a dark corner. It really is.
well, and hopefully eventually we're going to have power up in the general area.
I don't want to hit the
Yeah.
meter to my left.
So right now,
Out there, and I'm in the turning lane every time.
yeah, right now, we don't have power up on that end. But for a traffic light, but we could plan for that in the future.
yeah.
Any other questions for Darren?
How about solar lights like they're putting all over everywhere now?
Yeah, we had talked a little bit about that, as long as we keep it inside of our right of way somehow. And it's, yeah, we could talk about that offline a little bit, I think, to do something possibly like that.
Thanks for the picture, Darren.
You bet.
That was nice.
All right, City Manager Ben Billingsley.
Yeah, so last week we had our strategic planning session. Found that to be very productive and successful. Wanted to give kind of next steps on that. So you will be seeing, City Council, you will be seeing a survey for how we want to prioritize objectives in the 2 new goals that we kind of reprioritized in that session. And then in 2 weeks, we'll have a public-facing open house with a draft of the strategic plan so that allow people to come in and ask questions in kind of a less formal setting than a city council meeting. And then after that, the draft will be in front of council, anticipated to be that first meeting in March, as that informs the budget process and kind of kicks off the budget process formally. The only other item I had to report on was that with the current legislative session, we're monitoring a few bills that could really have a disproportionate impact to Toquerville City and its residents. We've commented on a few bills that could be coming down the line that could affect Toquerville. So we're primarily relying on the league to represent the city. Currently, we haven't identified any bills that would require any sort of action as of this point. So we just continue to track those bills, and we'll update you if we need to.
We can all call our representative if you see anything.
We can knock on his door, actually.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
You think they'll ignore the lobbyists, though?
Joseph will.
You better.
He
He's a man.
is. He's pretty good at what he.
Anything else, Ben?
That's it. Thank you.
Any comments, any questions for Ben? All right, we'll move on to Section E presentation. We have the Washington County Fair. Is it Ruffin Judd and Brandon Ibsen?
Ruffin wasn't able to make it tonight,
Okay.
so I brought my beautiful wife instead, which is, she's a lot better to look at anyways. So we won't, no knocks on Ruffin. Thank you for the opportunity to come here tonight. It's amazing to see the growth, amazing to see those pictures.
Yeah.
I remember when I was 12 years old and Dad's truck broke as we're coming down the highway, and we tried to make it up Anderson Junction, trying to make it to Hurricane out to my dad's friend's car company to get his car fixed. And those fun times have changed here in Toquerville. So with the Washington County Fair, I wanted to ask a couple questions to see if you guys can do a little better than the city of Ivins. No pressure here. So what Washington County event has been running for over a century and a half?
Washington County Fair.
165 years that we've been here
Wow.
in Washington County. It's really created a legacy. Susie always jokes about having the fair in August and what a difference it has made, but the change it's made in some of the community support, switching it to April and May. We have loved it. Livestock loves it a lot more. The community really has gotten behind it. Okay, second question. Which Washington County event has over 2,000 entries?
Peach Days.
Beach Days is pretty awesome. We have 2,000 arts, quilts, crafts, horticulture, and school entries like this awesome robotics team that's going to be talking to you. Another random question. Which Washington County event has 38 bands participate, over 20 food vendors, and 50 retail vendors? It's a fair. It is a great opportunity. We did a survey a year ago, and we had over 60,000 people come to the fair and participate at the fair, with over a third of those coming from outside the area. So it really brings in a lot of revenue to the area. And so we like to really showcase that. Now here's a bonus question for you. What's your favorite food at the fair? Navajo tacos. That's a great way to go. We had a sushi restaurant there, or a sushi vendor that last time that got some pretty positive reviews. So whether it's kale corn, the Navajo tacos, we wanted to encourage you guys all to come to the fair this year. Part of my job with the Washington County Fair Board is come out and find out how we can better support the community of Toquerville what that looks like for you guys, how we can increase participation, and also talk a little bit about the city display that we're going to have, that we have every year, and kind of plant that seed for this upcoming fair, find out who the best contact might be for that, so that we can have the city of Tokerville represented very well. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
What's that entail?
He's talking about the seed display. And Annette Kleinman did it for many, many years.
Yep.
And then she passed away and we haven't found anyone to carry the torch for her.
Okay. If there's somebody in the
She's
community,
irreplaceable.
those community members are, if there's somebody who has is very passionate about the city, who we have communities that show up and they bring quilts, and there's all sorts of displays. The city of Ivans last year was our spotlight city. They had a truck that they brought from one of their community members, and it's a great way to showcase the city, to talk about Tokerville, who Tokerville is as the culture and the citizens and the community itself. So just wanted to encourage that. If you guys have a moment to talk about sometime, see if there's somebody in the community that might be able to get behind that. So
You remind everybody we were.
Wayne's getting patted on the back.
Wayne's man.
No, my wife's not doing that no more.
So this year, we're going to celebrate America's 250 again. So this is the actual 250th anniversary for this great country. And so that's going to be our theme this year. We encourage all of you guys to come participate. And if there's anything we can do better as a fair board to help Tokerville be better recognized, please let me know. Any questions you guys have for me? Anything you'd like to?
Can we get somebody to make some old fashioned root beer?
Oh,
They don't have that no more.
I know.
That was a
That
staple.
would be good. Yeah.
You just got to keep it from getting fermented, and then you're good.
Dry ice.
That's better than the funnel cakes.
Little
I
dry
know.
ice. Not that old fashioned. Not that
Not
old.
that-
Well, we appreciate you coming.
Thanks, Mayor. We sure appreciate it.
Are they leaving to be this year?
Oh,
That's something that's important. for her.
that's why I brought my wife. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
You have a
So-
theme?
So one of the things the commissioners decided to do this year is waive the entrance fee to celebrate America's 250. So to come participate at the fair, to just come on fairgrounds, they're waiving the fee this year. So
You get concert tickets, if you're coming to any of the events, you don't have to worry about paying that entrance fee, like
Okay.
getting stopped at the gate just to go in and get stopped again, so that is gone. So that's
Awesome.
something that if you can spread that would be fabulous. Susie could really appreciate it, because I know it's causing a lot of.
Have you guys got a flyer on that? Putting any of that in?
it's on the website, and we're going to be, do you guys have a city newsletter by chance?
We've got a Facebook page and we've got a website. For
Okay, maybe we can pass along some information for you.
Pass that info on there. That would be
Work with Emily on that.
That's probably the best way for us to get it out. So.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks for all your hard work and making that, it's a great community event.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And they want root beer.
Root beer. Freshly brewed root beer.
I know, seriously, it's so good.
All right. Appreciate it and everything you do. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Do that. Display.
What's that?
Our seed
What are you doing,
display
root beer?
will be reserved themed.
Okay.
Root beer thing, I agree.
All right.
And we have to get someone to be in charge of it.
Wayne?
That's
Okay.
the hard thing.
Yeah.
I know Tammy Young has been approached about it a couple times and has turned him down, but maybe she could be worn down over time. Do we just
Yeah.
send the contact info to this email on the business card if we think, okay, we can all ask around our networks.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It is a hard sell. I've actually been approached twice to do it and I've said no. So
takes some time.
it's a lot of work and coordination and high executive
Get set up a few
function.
days before the fair starts,
Yeah,
and then you have to come take it all down.
Yeah, it's a huge
Yeah.
commitment, so it's hard to find people willing to do that, but
Yeah.
we keep trying, we'll just keep trying.
Okay. Hurricane High School robotics team. You're up.
How do you about this?
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. Should we just go in from that? Perfect. I didn't. We can just, because you're kind of.
So my name is Jaden Madsen. I'm the captain of the Hurricane High School robotics team, Team 9037. And what we do is we build robots and we go around. We've been to Las Vegas, we've been to Idaho, we've been to Utah, and we compete with these robots. And every year we're given a challenge. And we build a robot to try and get as many points as we can.
Okay, we all good. Let's stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to pump it, Jane? Okay, where is it? The handle's off, you have to pump the black piece. It doesn't, no, not that.
Oh, the black.
But that one. Corbin will get that, even though he's not supposed to be there.
You just gotta listen to
Manual thing. You're doing great.
You need a robot to raise that up.
This one, great.
Okay.
Very cool, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, we've taken this robot and we've competed with teams from all around Utah. And last year, actually, we could probably go to the next slide.
Yeah, I think the next slide has some information for it.
So yeah, last year, some of our old captains came here and
Yeah.
presented our goals,
Yeah.
you remember,
Yeah.
and aspirations for the season and for the community and how we want to make difference, because that's another big thing that we like to focus on the team. And thank you for all the support that you've given us, and last year we were able to achieve a lot. So, yeah, so we went and competed at the Utah qualifier, that's up north, and teams from all over come and compete. I think there was like 44 teams or something last year, and it's just like a 3-day thing. We go and compete. We were also there. They give out awards, so we go and there's judges, and they judged us, and we got this Inspiration Engineering Award, and that one got us to go to Worlds. So we went to Houston, Texas, and there's this huge convention center, and like there was like 50,000 people there, and we were able to compete. And yeah, those are pictures from our competition, and it was a blast. Okay, now I'm gonna hand it over to Audrey Vick. She's our head of outreach.
So these successes that we've had have actually made us even more determined to do more, because we feel like it's great that we were able to accomplish these things, but if we were able to accomplish this much, how much more could be accomplished? So every year we make this huge list of all these things we want to do, and we're determined to spread like STEM to the community. So like love of science and engineering and technology and math, and we just love getting everyone that we can involved and just sharing our love of it with the community. And one of the things that we found that really helped that, or like the program we were involved in, like the first program for robotics, and it's spreading really quickly through Southern Utah and throughout the country and also across the world. So all of our efforts are just kind of to inspire the younger generation that we're trying to touch and just like get them to the point where we're at, where we just love what we're doing. And so many of our alumni from the team have gone on and they're involved in engineering majors or biochemistry majors, and they are being so successful in what they're doing. Or they're animating at Disney, like programming and building and designing roller coasters for Disney. It's amazing. And so we have this thing that we've kind of noticed in our community. 1 in 4 jobs requires either science, technology, engineering, or math. That's across the country, across the world. And more jobs down here are requiring that, especially with Utah Tech focusing on their technology and trying to spread that and kind of become the center and hub for that in Utah right now. So there is a huge pressing need in our community for STEM involvement, but our education system isn't quite reaching that need right now. Half of the schools in Utah do not reach half of the students with STEM programs. And that's especially evident in rural areas like ours, like at Hurricane High School. Maybe half of the students are enrolled in a STEM class right now, just because it's not talked about, it's not encouraged, it's not like pushed on them how amazing it is and how awesome it would be for their future and how much it can provide for them. Like our coach and mentor says that if you find something you love, then find someone to pay you to do it. And what we're trying to do is encourage the students to find those jobs that are within the STEM community because they provide them so many opportunities. So if we get them to love it young, then we can get them to try and embrace those opportunities as we push it throughout elementary school and intermediate and middle school. And when they get to our school, then they can begin enrolling in those harder classes that will get them to where we're at now and where our alumni have become. So these are pictures of our team with students at elementary schools and at STEM nights. So this last Monday, we had a STEM night at the high school. I don't know if anyone was able to attend, but we open it up and our high school hosts it and we help run it. And it's just STEM involved people around the community who want to get involved. So this year we actually had St. George Astronomy Group there, and they were presenting and helping the kids like have hands-on fun with whatever was there. And we had a booth and we were showing them the robot, and they just got to play with the robot and like you could touch it, play with it, just get involved and want to be hands-on with everything. That's what we're trying to do. So we also go to elementary schools and we get to just play with the kids during lunch. Like today we went to Coral Canyon and we just played with the robot and got the kids involved, and they loved like seeing how we did the code and then seeing how the robot talks to the code on the computer. And it was so amazing watching their faces just light up. Like they're seeing this whole new world that they didn't even realize was there, that they could go and do all of these amazing things that they didn't think they were smart enough to do. So, Taylor.
Okay, so this is how our community can help change this future that we've tried to develop. We want to create a STEM education committee within our local government. So I think just like representatives from different areas and just get together and try to figure out how to branch it out and get it more into the education. And then we desire to eventually create a coalition between education and industry, facilitated by our local governments. And we also hope to use our local governments to better involve our local industry within the education process.
So essentially, we want to create something through the community governments, like your guys's, and just make it like a small committee that is trying to get the local industry. So like we talked about how there's more and more STEM job opportunities in the communities, like all of you probably at some point took some math classes to get where you're at, or some STEM or whatever classes, like that kind of thing. We want to get the kids interested in that. We want to get them interested in the jobs that like build architects, like things like that. So if we could get a committee of some form eventually, or some sort of person who was helping us get the education system connected with our industry, whether that be our industry representatives coming and doing fun activities with kids during lunch like we do, or having STEM nights, like just having community hold STEM nights and we can help host them or run them. And we just are trying to get these kids involved in as many opportunities as possible, because the more we involve them with and when they're young, the more opportunities they see opening up in their future. And that's all we're trying to achieve. So, questions?
So what is that machine? What does it do?
This is our robot. Jaden, you want to take over on this?
What was the criteria for this year's build? Like there was, like last year, there was a certain thing that had to.
So this is actually our preseason robot. Last year's robot we took apart already because we needed the parts. And every year there's this team up north that does a preseason competition. So they make up their own game and stuff, and they send it out to teams all around. I don't know, it might be just in Utah. And so we built this, and basically what it does is we had these dodgeballs, and there was like a hoop about as tall as him. Yeah. And
You didn't want to say short.
and we had to go and pick up these dodgeballs, and so they would drop into here, and then we could hold like 4 at a time, and then there's wheels in here that spin, and they shoot up and go into the hoop, and then we get points. And then also another thing is we have this thing right here that there's like these pieces of wood, I think like little 2x6s, and we'd have to pick them up from this like intake thing, and we had to go drop them off in place under the hoop, and it just got us points. And then we'd compete against other robots, and it was just a preseason thing, so just a practice, but it was fun and we learned a lot.
So you rolled it in here. Can that move by itself when you? Okay.
Yeah, it can. We don't have the computer though. But yeah, it's cool.
Cool. And you know, we've got a robotics business being built here in Tokerville.
No, but we'd love to learn more about it.
Yeah.
IME automation.
I think we have heard about it.
Actually, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's in your brain.
Yeah.
It's in your brain.
if you'd like, I can get you the information to talk to one of the owners of it.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Please.
We'll get, I'm sure Emily has your email and stuff. We'll get you some of that information.
Yes, please.
We'll keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So are you wanting a member of the city council to join a committee? Is that your ask? Or
Anything
you're just
feel like
sharing your
is a
vision
possibility.
for right now?
Currently, our main vision for doing this was just to get the community aware. Like, we're trying to plant that seed of there are so many possibilities for these kids if they just knew about them. So if even just one person on city council or someone on city council knew someone that would love to just take charge on this, and they can coordinate with us or like with the school district, if we eventually talk to them, like, we just want to get the education system to partner with the industry, so eventually it's not feeding out into like California or up north. We want it to be back home. We want it to feed back into the community and make the community better.
Cool. I really appreciate you sharing your vision. I think this is a great first step because it'll keep it top of mind for us when we hear about things like IME and tech companies in our town.
So have you got a schedule of events you're going to do throughout the year, or is it? And one thing you may want to do is get that schedule over to us and see if we can post it.
That would be wonderful, actually.
Yeah, just like STEM nights and activities for the younger
Yeah.
kids.
We would love it. Thank you.
Great.
It's nice to see how prepared you guys are and how articulate you are and able to talk in front of the council. And I'm sure that's nervous and stuff, but you guys did an excellent job on your presentation.
You did.
So,
Yeah, we did.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
So this has to do homework, so we're gonna be back here, but thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
I've seen them asking her again before, because it's not an expensive team to run, like to go to Nashville. It's a lot of
Thank you,
money.
everybody.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck in your competitions this year.
Good luck with the fair.
Okay, item F is the public forum. Right now we have limit to 3 minutes per person. Please address the microphone and state your full name and address. Please note there will be no response from the city council official during that time. For specific questions, please contact staff directly.
My name is Art Smith. I reside in Trailhead Estates. I failed to attend our HOA meeting and got elected to be the common area representative.
That'll teach you to miss a meeting.
You can only imagine why I'm here. We've worked with Ben and JD a little bit, and we're preparing to do some reparations down there from the flood. And it's almost overwhelming what needs to be done for one little HOA. So I'm hoping at the end of this process, we can figure out how as a community it's a community park, it's not just an HOA park, so hopefully we can end up working together. But the grass area that they're doing down there so far looks great. It's pretty, it'll be even better. I work with the Arbor Foundation and we'll be planting 12 flowering trees along the south end of that. They will be seedlings, but in time, they should be very pretty. We'll have all kinds of beautiful flowers, flowering trees down there. One of our main concerns is to repair down there, we're gonna need to take heavy equipment into that area between the creek and the trail. And we've already made arrangements for somebody to do that. We've got a contract with them to do that. If we can do it, we're concerned about FEMA. We understand we can't do anything to the creek, but all the debris that's wrapped around the trees, I think Ben indicated would probably be okay since this is a remediation process, but I don't wanna, get down in there and have those black SUVs show up. So I don't know how we find out whether we'd be in trouble or not. Is that something that we can get some information on from the city council?
Yeah, we could give you direction on that.
You will?
Mhm.
You already have the will.
Darren will work with our floodplain administrator on
So
it.
you are in the floodplain, essentially, just a real quick, you are in the floodplain. That's going to be very much like that little rock area you did back a while ago. So there's a permit process there with FEMA and it's the city. So yeah, but definitely we're willing to work with you however we can to do something there.
Well, we'd like to move ahead as quickly as possible. Summer is coming, so we'd like to do that and start that repair. From the trail to the grass area that you guys are taking care of is something that we would want to put down. Weed barrier and gravel again. I've contacted our friends over at Interstate Rock, and they're willing to help us out a bit in terms of the rock price and so on and so forth. So we'd like to get that started as well. And then, am I done?
It is. Try and wrap it up if you can.
Okay. We've also looked into, on the original plan for the park, there was going to be a pavilion. We've looked into that as HOA and the cost of putting down one of those sunshade kind of pavilions that you've got over at the new Westfields area. And we'd like to have some discussion about participation in getting that put in. It's not as expensive as I thought it might be. So we, as a HOA, volunteered to donate a significant amount of money for that. And because we like to have it, because it really makes the park more useful for not only us, but for the whole community. So with that, if we can find out about FEMA and do that quickly, we'd really appreciate it. Because I've got the dumpsters set up, I've got the contractor for the equipment to go in there and fill the dumpsters and haul it off, all the debris off. There's a lot of debris wrapped around the trees. We're worried about maybe damaging the trees and vermin and all the other things that happen. We're not going to be able to do it all, but as far as from where the grass starts on the south end to the restrooms, we will, that whole area on the creek side of the trail, we will take care of.
Well, we'll get our staff to expedite our part of it and try and help you through the other stages of it. So far as when you talk about the federal government and FEMA being quick, I think we'll get the applications in as quick as we can. But
And when you move a piece of equipment in that complicates things. Just, let's set a meeting up and sit down and talk about it sometime within the next week.
Sooner the better. I'm available 24/7.
all right, thank you. Do we have anybody else for the public forum? Okay. Business item G1, discussion on Trail Ridge Park reconstruction status.
Ties right in.
Led right into it, yeah.
Should have let them go first.
All right, JD.
Okay, so yeah, we had a flood and did quite a bit of damage. So the flood happened on October 10th. Here's a few pictures of what it looked like after the day after we went back out. This is the detention pond in the front of this picture towards the bottom. Back area is the grass that used to exist there that has been covered up since then. And you can see a couple of the frisbee golf baskets. This is a picture of the grass area. You can see it took our trash can out, took some picnic tables out. We've lost a few picnic tables actually, and about 6 of the frisbee golf baskets. It also brought in about 3 feet of sediment to the grass side and to the common area side of the trail. So
I'm still curious, you lost them, did they get damaged or did they just go somewhere?
they're probably in the bucket.
Okay.
We never found most of them, so.
Yeah, okay,
There's a couple of them wrapped around the trees or in the trees.
yeah.
But, yeah, so that's, here's a couple more pictures of the damage. I mean, it was fast moving, fast rising. Got all the debris out of the river, cleaned the river up nicely, but also made nice afterwards, so.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like today. We went and took these pictures this week. We've gone in there and leveled out most of the silt that was in there, and we brought in some mulch from the dump to help the grass grow. We haven't seeded it yet. We're going to plan on doing that in mid-March when the sprinklers come on. we're currently working on doing some repairs to the sprinkler system and just trying to get that leveled out as much as possible with the drags and tractors. So, like I said, we replaced all the Frisbee golf baskets because we lost so many. We figured we'd find out different colors. So we did them all. We had to replace a few signs. This is just a picture of the trail cleaned up afterward. There's about a foot of silt on the trail towards that lower grass area. You've also exposed most of the concrete bases that where you throw the frisbees from. This is just a cost breakdown. So overall, we've spent, between all of us, we probably spent about a month's worth of time down there. After the flood, we were down there for about 2 weeks straight, just trying to pick up all that leaf area that was under the gravel and get everything off the trees on the city's side of the trail, I guess you could say. And then after that, we waited to froze to try and get that silt more level. It was just soupy, so we had to take a while to get that completed. We've also got the cost of the Frisbee golf baskets, the signs, machine fuel, and mulch, sprinkler parts, just things that we put into it to try and make it better. So that's my last slide. So if you have any questions.
Any questions for JD? I do have one curiosity question for Trail Ridge. Choya put out a call for help for volunteers. I know that because I was down there quite a while with my personal backhoe. But did you guys do that for any of your private property? Because that part I never heard coming in on that side. So
Well, actually, some of the folks on our side did go over and help.
right,
And I was there.
right,
And I know that Art and some of the other guys cleared the area, you know, where we had big washout from up above. and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
His guys cleaned up most of that.
okay.
So-
Yeah, because if I could have helped you over there, or if I'd have been contacted by somebody, can't do it as a mayor, but as a citizen, I'd have been willing to come over.
It would be really nice to get Mesa View, HOA, Choya, whoever they are, the city and Trail Ridge together so we can work collectively because it's an area that really supplies
Multi-jurisdictional.
thing for the whole community over there.
Yeah.
As well as, Jokerville in general.
Well,
But I don't, we want to do what we can do.
Right.
But,
well, and keeping in mind, the city's got to do the city's property,
sure.
right? And we can get some of the other, if we're going to do a cleanup and other things, but I say I found in this community, if you put out a call for help, people will come over and help. So.
We also have a dumpster days coming, I think it's the first week of March. So there'll be a dumpster from the city in the parking lot. So
That'd be a good day. We could get a few returns in line by then. That'd be wonderful.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks, JD, for all the work you guys did down there.
They did a great job, by the way.
They're hard working down there. All right. G2, discussion possible action on ordinance 2026XX, an ordinance adopting Title IX, Chapter 5, abatement of dangerous structures. This one's yours, Ben?
Yep, happy to provide a brief introduction here. May not be brief. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
the primary purpose of this ordinance is really to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community. There are occasions when there is a structure in the community that simply has to be remediated. The property owner doesn't take care of it. This ordinance has kind of been on my mind for a little while, knowing that the city doesn't currently have in city ordinance the authorization or the process by which we go about doing that. So in the way that the ordinance is drafted, if there's a structure in which there's essentially just unsafe conditions, if you read, there's a handful of definitions of a dangerous building. The building inspector has the authority to provide notice to the property owner. They have the discretion. The building inspector has the discretion for the time frame allowed to remediate the danger. I was a bit conflicted on that. I would prefer a defined time frame. However, in these situations, there can be situations when it's necessary to expedite the process. When, say, 30 days may be too long of a time frame, and it's really kind of high risk to the community. So we allow the current version of the ordinance allows some discretion to the building inspector building official as to the time frame by which the property owner has to remediate the process. If the property owner does not remediate the danger, mitigate the danger, then the city has the authority to go in and do that, and then bill the property owner for that mitigation work. So the code kind of just walks through that entire process. I think the other component of the ordinance is that there's this whole boarded building concept. So buildings that are abandoned and unsafe can be boarded. There's a registration process and a fee that would have to be added next time we do an amendment to the uniform fee schedule. And then any building that has been boarded has to be inspected to ensure that that repairs have been made appropriately before essentially unboarding the structure, essentially deeming it safe for public use again. And there is an appeal process. So if it's disputed, the condition of the structure, that can be appealed, and that follows the same appeal process as any land use appeal. So the land use appeal authority would serve as the appeal authority in a dangerous structure situation as well. A couple notes. Since presenting this to council last week, there were a couple items that were brought to my attention that I think are worth adding, and probably to a greater extent than would make sense to do in a motion this evening. So I would recommend that we have a conversation about this evening, but I am recommending tabling the discussion for two reasons primarily. The first being that it places a lot of discretion to a building official. And currently in the case of Tokerville, this is a contracted position. So you can imagine that there's some risk exposure there. I'm proposing adding a section that would provide another level of oversight, likely just approval by the city manager prior to any action being initiated. The other item that we would suggest adding, and this is the one that's a bit more complex, this was brought to our attention by our attorney, and this is ensuring alignment with state statute, which defines illegal structures. So we have to do this, there's this kind of overlap.
Actually doesn't define illegal structure, but only gives you authority to remove an illegal structure.
So essentially, we've defined dangerous structure, dangerous building. There has to be some work done to ensure that illegal structure is defined to ensure alignment with state statute. So those are the two amendments as of right now that I would recommend, and the reason for recommending tabling this evening.
Okay. Reading through this, the one, not that an attorney who drafted a bunch of this. I just look and the one thing, a lot of this is so that the public would understand it if they read it. And a lot of these, it is extremely repetitious of the same comments on a lot of the paragraphs. So I would suggest, since we're going to look at it, is try and cut some of the repetition out.
We can, consolidate it, try and simplify it just for ease of understanding.
Yeah, I kind of went through it and it was like, you could do in, where's my paragraphs here? Paragraphs D, I, M, P, and Q, and in my view, pretty much take out all the rest of them. But obviously, when you're getting down to trying to get remediation and getting the other aspects of it, that's got to be the legalese.
Cost recovery.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
The other concern that was brought up is the minute you talk about old and dilapidated, if you're not talking about council members, then is a lot of the people are worried. Well, I've had several comments about the historic buildings, and one of the last things they would want to do is see it removed. So even if it's in the historic part, and especially a historic registered building, I think that one would have to even go past the city manager and council.
Probably follows a different path. If it's so that may need to be considered as part of the ordinance as well.
Okay.
Good feedback. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments on that?
What about your illegal buildings? how are you gonna go back and say, that's illegal, remove it, when you let it happen? So I was kind of curious how that worked. So you got an idea on that one?
Well, the question can be broad, so let me see if I can answer it narrowly and see if the narrow answer gets at what you're asking. But in the legal building, if there's a structure that's approved by the city and shouldn't have been, that's where governmental estoppel comes in and says, okay, you already granted the right to build that. You can't, even though it's not supposed to be there, it's going to be there. Right? So that's one instance. The other is, and I think people are familiar with this, legal non-conforming use, grandfather. You know, if it existed before the ordinance was in play that prohibited it, then it gets to stay. Because the state statute giving municipalities the right to abate says you can abate an illegal structure, the part that I want to go through the code and look at as this proposed ordinance is, how do we define something dangerous? Why is it then illegal? Is it because it violates building ordinances, uniform building code, something that would say it's not meeting city code, therefore it is illegal.
And you don't feel like as written, that already covers this?
So two things. One is I'm trying to carry my load plus all of Kayla's load. So
Okay.
I have not read through this in detail. My starting point was look at what state statute allows you to do. And state statute doesn't say anything about a dangerous building. And you might call something dangerous that might not be illegal. So we have to make certain that as we structure it, it will be in line with what state code allows.
And I read it, and the things you said are all in there.
And they may be, but I haven't had a chance to go through there. And we want to, as Ben and I talked about this, we want to be able to use the word illegal structure because that's what the statute says you can abate. The statute doesn't say you can abate a dangerous building. It says you can abate.
I thought there was something in the statute saying that the municipality has the ability, if there's a public safety hazard, which if a building's ready to fall down, is there not something that?
It doesn't say that.
No.
No, it says an illegal object or structure.
Okay.
So, and I just haven't had time to dig through this, Jenny, to say, oh yeah, it meets all that, and it probably does.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also want to use like terms
Yeah, that makes sense.
so that if someone challenges, we say, no, it says we can remove an illegal structure, and it's illegal for these reasons.
Yeah. So I guess I was going back to what they do on the mines and abandoned mines and stuff, where you have the authority to go in and close them off and.
Well, when you say you have, each governmental entity has a different level of authority granted to it. And for municipalities, your authority to abate is noxious weeds, things like that, and illegal structures.
Okay.
Would a structure that never got a building permit, would that be illegal?
In my view, yes, that would be illegal.
So
And in Salt Lake City,
prior
in
to
one case,
1950,
toward
there
that.
was no building permits required in Tocqueville City, so you got a whole bunch of ones
Well, okay.
But they're covered by the grandfather.
That goes back, Wayne, to
to the grandfather.
if it existed prior to the ordinance requiring whatever it might require, then it is defined, we sometimes short it to grandfathering, but it is a legal, it's non-conforming, but it's legal because there's nothing that said it was illegal at the time. And therefore it gets to continue unless it's abandoned, that use is abandoned or the structure is abandoned, then,
It becomes dangerous.
Or it has been modified, then they have to bring it into code, correct?
depending on what the modification is.
Building.
Okay.
I have a few questions. it mentions a couple times a fines hearing officer. Does our city have a fines hearing officer?
That was another thing. There were a few positions undefined in the code that will be
So we would
updated as
need to
well.
fix
Yeah, there were a couple positions like that.
Okay. On the section that talks about noticing, if it's just one notice initially and then the city can take action. From getting grumpy government letters before, I like it when there are two. And even if they follow like 1 week apart, because sometimes you think, oh, well, I don't read, I'm not always right on top of my mail, but if I saw something from the same government entity twice in a row, I do read it, but I just think it might be courteous to send two notices, or maybe be a little clearer on what that notice is gonna say.
Or do it as a certified. It's where they have to sign for it, which is going to separate it, but.
We could also expand on that a bit and provide more clarity, because what I'm concerned about is limiting our ability to remediate quickly when needed.
Yeah.
And so maybe multiple forms of communication, whether that's, typically we have utility billing information. So posting on the property itself,
Yeah.
a letter, attempted phone call, if it's shorter than a certain period of time, is kind of my first reaction.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't see anything in it. I know when we had the tornado up at Salt Lake, the fire department came through, and until they approved you to go back in and it was safe, you weren't allowed back into it. So when you were talking about the earthquakes and the other items, there's another body that would be involved in that besides just the city.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention too, is check and see what fire code overlaps with some of these abatement of dangerous structures and stuff. Because the fire department, in some cases, might order a board up of a burnt building. So, and then Jenny, if you're done, I had a couple.
My last one was, each day a violation continues shall constitute a separate offense.
Yeah, I see that.
So I guess if we're trying to abate these quickly, that's not, but I was like, well, what if they come talk to us and it's not as urgent and they're taking 30 to 45 days, I think, every day. And I don't know, I just feel like that would, but maybe it maybe time is of the essence. It's not as.
Those
big of a
fines
deal.
would accrue though after the period of time to comply, right? And then if they don't
Okay.
comply, then the fines
I
would
think that would resolve
come.
that.
And that's the same for any land use violation.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you. That's all of mine.
So yeah, just check the fire code for that. And then, as we talked before, Ben, on the whereases, the last whereas on page 1, we talked about this before, but I'm not sure, do we really need, and this is not as a response to any specific property enforcement action currently pending within the city. If we're making this resolution or ordinance, do we need that?
As to the necessity of it, I did want, and we talked about the overlap between the agenda item summary and the resolution. Reason for that is just transparency to the public, right? That we're not, anytime that we put an ordinance like this in front of council, it's like, oh, what is the immediate action that we're taking as a result of this? And I just wanted to make it clear that it's simply not that. This is preemptive.
Okay.
You don't want everybody driving around trying to figure out what building you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that it
A
shows
little
that we're
pointed there.
preemptive and
That's
not,
fine. Yeah.
I don't love reactive legislation. I like
And then,
Yeah.
and then to go along with what we talked about before too, page 3 on item O, you have a health officer.
Yep.
Determined in there, so we need to figure out what the health officer is and who that is and.
And can we tell the state health department?
Yeah,
So
so,
they'd be a resource, but.
right. And then my last one, as we're doing this, is they also have the attractive nuisance doctrine. And I'm not sure if that's something that we wanted to add it, and that's the principle of somebody being liable for if it's
it's a dangerous condition that would draw someone
Thank
into
you.
the.
a
Typical
child.
things like there's a pond
Yeah.
on your property and you don't have well fenced off and the kid gets in there and drowns. Utah had the attractive nuisance doctrine, then they abandoned it and then
Okay.
they readopted it. The
Okay.
courts readopted it. So
Okay.
that's,
So it does talk about abandoned vehicles and structures, things like that. And I'm not sure if that applies to Utah, but it's just a general definition, so.
and is that inside and my apologies, I haven't had a chance to go through it. Is that inside this ordinance about?
No, it's
You're
not.
bringing that
It's
up.
not, so maybe it should be.
Within
A
the,
little bit of language about like attracting
The
children.
attractive
It does say
nuisance would
that.
be the burden of the property owner. They would be the liable ones because it's
Right.
their nuisance.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to do is abate it.
Right. So that would be another reason that we could enforce this ordinance, right?
Well, again, the state statute says it has to be an illegal structure. And so a pond is not illegal, right? So we have to find a basis to abate that is illegal.
So-
Not just that it's an attractive nuisance.
there are two conditions in which attractive nuisance was mentioned. The first being when it's damaged, resulting from, fire, earthquake. And the second was when a portion of a structure remains on site after the demolition or destruction, then it becomes an attractive nuisance. So there are two conditions in which attractive nuisance is mentioned. I do wonder if attractive nuisance in and of itself would be sufficient to initiate this process without some other health, safety, welfare event happening.
The operative thing is we have to find a way to deem it illegal.
Yeah.
So, for me, thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
I think it's a little restricted, a little pointed in one direction. I need to table it and rework it.
Did you have any specific
Yeah.
feedback you'd like to see?
A lot of it, like I said, it's repetitious and repetitious. And you're going so far as to go into how the maintenance of the yard's taken care of when that's nothing to do with a freaking dangerous situation for a house.
I think that's typically, so what that's addressing is that after the boarding occurs, after a structure is essentially, the situation is resolved, a lot of times the property is abandoned. And for that reason, it's authorizing the city to go in and kind of care for the yard and then kind of tack those fees onto the other costs that are incurred by the city. Could be omitted if desired.
Yeah, they board it up because they can only leave it for a year or two. So they don't really care how their yard looks, but it dies, the lawn dies.
Then you're a fire hazard.
No, it pretty much matches everything in town here. There's a lot of places that just, they don't do nothing. Their yards are a mess, but their houses aren't boarded. So you're kind of going, only on a boarded house, we're going to come take over your property. But some properties here, the house should be boarded because their yard is a mess. So it's a little not clear.
No, we're far reaching on this one, Wayne.
No, I'm reading what it says.
So one thing that might be helpful, and Ben, you like to walk through this, is in any notice to abate, what might be helpful is a citation to aside from that we're calling it illegal, citation to the code that it violates.
Yeah.
So that we know that we truly have an illegal thing other than someone thinking it's just a really ugly, possibly attractive nuisance thing. We have to cite what provision of the code it violates to be deemed illegal.
In the notice provided to the property owner. Yeah.
Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to table business item G2, an ordinance abating of dangerous structures.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion to table passes.
That's a big one.
All right, calendar of events, spring community cleanup, Saturday, March 7th to Sunday, March 8th, 2026. Center Street Park, Westfield Park, TRE Park, and Taylor's Tokerville Heights. That is the placement of the dumpsters, correct?
That is.
Okay. And I have been informed that we need a closed session, so.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to go into closed session, discuss litigation, security, property acquisition, or sell or the character and or professional competence or physical or mental health of an individual.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. I'll do a roll call with Councilmember Sands starting.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion to go into closed session passes. We are now entering closed session.